Hey guys, and thanks for joining me here today. You all remember this guy, right? The bad meter from Lilo and Stitch. You see, if you haven't seen the movie, if you just don't remember it, this little meter showed up quite a few times throughout the movie. Basically, when Stitch shows up, he's a little blue alien, he's got some anger issues, and whenever he gets really mad and he does something wrong, then his friend Lilo would take this little meter out and would color it in a little bit higher and say, you've been really bad today, Stitch. You shouldn't treat people like that. Your badness level is going up. When he controlled his anger, when he didn't do anything wrong, then she would erase a little bit of the red and she would say that his badness level was going down, that his goodness level was going up. You see, even in a kid's movie, we still deal with that issue, with the issue of anger, how you treat other people, because frankly, it's an important issue. I mean, what do we do with our anger? How do we act when we're angry? Is it okay to do something out of anger? Does that kind of excuse it? If you're angry, should you not do anything? Or is it just a matter of no matter what you do, if you get angry, then you can't act out of anger, but you can still act? Is there some types of anger that's justifiable and other kinds that aren't? We have a lot of questions about anger. But the biggest one is really just how bad is anger really? Well, it's good that you should ask that because, well, Jesus actually discusses it as well. You see, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus brings up the issue of anger, and he says in Matthew 5:21 through 22, "You have heard it said to our ancestors, 'Do not murder. And whoever murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you, everyone who is angry with his brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Whoever insults his brother or sister will be subject to the court, and whoever says you fool will be subject to hellfire.'" That's a pretty intense teaching, isn't it? He's saying even being angry with a brother or sister isn't okay. That if you're insulting a brother or sister, that's even worse. And if you say you fool, which is a really big, heavy insult in Hebrew culture, if you really slander them, if you attack their character, then that's an even worse offense. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, when he was talking about this passage, said something pretty intense too. He said, when a man gets angry with his brother, or if a woman gets angry, you get it. When a man gets angry with his brother and swears at him, when he publicly insults or slanders him, he is guilty of murder and forfeits his relation to God. Again, that's pretty intense. It seems like Dietrich here and Jesus actually agree on something pretty important, which is, well, anger's a bad thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that either one of these guys is trying to teach that just the feeling of anger is a sin. In fact, I think that Paul clarifies the issue a little bit when he talks about it in Ephesians chapter 4. Verse 26 and 27, which says, "In your anger do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold." Now, why would Paul write in Ephesians 4, "In your anger do not sin," if just the emotion of anger itself is a sin? In fact, if you read about Jesus' life, you'll see that he actually gets angry. But when he's angry, he doesn't sin. And you see, that's the rub. That anger is something that we can't stop. We can't stop ourselves from feeling angry sometimes, but it is something that we can control. In your anger, do not sin. So if anger is something that we can't act on, that Jesus says that if we're angry with someone, then we have the beginnings of sin. When we swear at them or insult them, then we have sinned greatly. Then how do we learn to handle our anger? If anger is so bad, what do we do about it? And well, here's a couple ideas. First of all, you can develop a habit of walking away. Give yourself some time to cool off. It really helps. Second of all, you can try exercising. Exercising releases endorphins. It gets rid of excess energy. It can help calm you down. You can also try drinking a non-caffeinated hot drink. I have my coffee here. This is caffeinated. That would be a bad idea. Because when you're angry, when your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, it speeds up your system, that speeds up a lot of processes in your body. What you want to do is get those to slow back down. So drinking a non-caffeinated hot drink can help for some people. And one that I found really helpful is making an agreement or a pact with people who commonly see you angry. That, hey, if I'm getting mad, we need just a 15-minute timeout. This is something that me and my wife did, that if we realize that we're getting angry or that the other one's getting angry, then we'll take a 15 or 20-minute timeout. We won't really talk. We'll just kind of give each other space. We'll just breathe. Then after 15 or 20 minutes, we'll come back to it. And it's actually a great way to kind of diffuse the situation and talk about something productively instead. You can also try prayer or meditation. Now, according to Andrew Newberg, who's a researcher at University of Pennsylvania, prayer and meditation, especially intercessory prayer, which is a fancy word for praying for other people, actually changes the way your brain operates. It changes activity levels in different parts of your brain, eventually making you a more empathetic person. Empathetic people are a little bit less likely to get angry. So if you have a pattern of anger in your life, prayer or meditation can actually help with that. And if you're a Christian, praying for yourself might be the greatest thing that you can do. We have access to a God with infinite resources that understands how your body works. If you pray to Him, I firmly believe that He will give you the strength to overcome this, but you're also not meant to do it alone. So our last possible solution is, if you have a pattern of anger in your life, consider seeking help. Help can be professional help. It can be a professional counselor. It could be your pastor or preacher. It could even be a close friend. Have a conversation. Formulate a strategy for how you're going to deal with your anger. Paul, Jesus, and Dietrich Bonhoeffer all agree on something that actually modern science tells us as well, which is anger is not a good thing. If you have an issue with anger, and believe me, I've had my run-ins with it in the past as well. If you have an issue with anger, then it's not the end. There are strategies to help you cope, and the Bible itself offers advice as well. So pray, read your Bibles, contact a friend, or consider seeking professional help. There's definitely ways you can get out of this. Hey there again, guys. Thank you again for joining me today. If you enjoyed what you watched here, if it was helpful to you, then I want to encourage you all to follow us on Facebook at Berean Connect-Murfreesboro, and to hop on YouTube, which this video will be posted on, and to just scroll down and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it if there's people in your life that you think might be able to use it. We really appreciate you being here. We appreciate your support, and we'd love to continue advancing the kingdom with you.